Well, I think they started buying up this land in the 40s, but then the actual building started in the 50s, and there was still people living in here, and he bought all of them out, but the Lewis Cole family, they wouldn't sell. He offered him a river bottom farm, Arkansas, or any place, but this was home to him, and he still wouldn't sell, so they all went to work eventually, and like I say, he was a game warden, his wife was a custodian, had 3 or 4 young ones working, and we was making $35 a week, so you can figure what that family was bringing in. Right. And the other time we was working right down here below the waterfall, and had a dozer in there in the spring of the year, and the bird was building a nest in a little tree over there, and Mr. Hodge spied it. So he stopped that project down until that bird hatched out him. That's the kind of fellow he was. And he wore khakis, and he'd get right out there with the men, because he wouldn't labor like they will, but he was right there with them. Right there with them, yeah. And, when my mother was a custodian and our first daughter was born, he bought a little gold cup for her and gave it to her, and Stacy still had it. And we poured all this concrete with wheelbarrows. It was some places that they planted pine trees in here in the open places, but all these native longleaves, see, they original. What they planted was the slash, but the good Lord put all these longleaf pine trees here. And this was a turpentine camp at one time, you know, where they tap the trees and get the rosin to make turpentine. Okay. And I have some of them old cups in the little tin thing that they'd run out in.
Yeah. So did you work out here during the early years, or what was your occupation back in the early 50s? What were you up to at that time?
Well, you were just a laborer, and then they could put you anywhere they wanted to. But I worked with I helped fence this, and then I worked for the plumbing crew, and then when they poured cement, I drove a wheelbarrow, and just whatever come along. And all these rocks around the lake around here, them white rocks, they was all hauled in with a dump truck, and they were dumped, and we placed them along the levee by hand.